Then my brother told me about another movie that was
You watched how many is that? Almost like 5 hours worth of movie.
yeah, that one alone. The first one is like just shy of 2.5 hours, and the second one is
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
hello, children. What are you doing here? Oh my god. Okay, sorry. I'm already gonna put us off the rails. So between the last time we recorded, I think it's Prime Time, the Robert Patterson, Chris, the Catch a Predator thing. And oh my goodness, the memes are cracking me up because I never watched or read Twilight, but it's like, you imprinted on my daughter. It's like, it wasn't a choice. It's like, what is Edward gonna say about this? And he's like, now you see we're gonna have a problem here, right? I was like, oh my goodness, it's so good.
Take a seat right here while we
I wasn't interested in the movie, but the more and more I keep seeing
him in his
part
suit.
memes and the trailers for it, I'm like, I'm a little bit more interested in it.
We have talked about next year maybe doing favorite actor movies or things like that.
I think just like how I realized his depth, there's a lot of people this year that are realizing the depth of Robert Patterson.
He really, the energy I get from him is he has a very, I don't care, I'll do it. Which I feel like there's a lot of actors that are like, my reputation, my image. And he's very like, ow.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people, like just I think Summer alone, he had, or I don't know when the drama came out, but he had that was in
fairly recent, yeah.
Yeah. It's like that came out, and then he had the Odyssey. There's another movie, and then there's Prime Time. He has another movie that just came out that I'm blanking on. But it's like the just this year alone, I guess we could always just look it up. I got Wikipedia right here if my mouse doesn't decide to close it.
Click, 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 click.
That's not how you spell Robert. Oh, wow. I got Robert, and he's the second one.
Everybody's looking him up.
Filmography. Drama Odyssey. Oh, he's in Dune.
The new Dune?
Yeah.
I don't remember him being in the first Dune. I only watched the
Well,
first
he's in
one.
Dune 3. I don't know if he's in he's Sightale. Sightale. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm so confused about how this movie works because I thought part 1 was first half, part 2 was second half, and then it's like it sounds like they split the first book up into like 4 movies or something, which I guess they could do, but I'm like,
yeah, I thought it was always planned for it to be at least 3. I didn't know if it was going to be 4. But I think it's because the how do I say, the Lord of the Rings of it all, cuz wasn't The Hobbit like also 3 movies?
yeah, it shouldn't have been.
I only saw the first Hobbit movie.
I think it gets, I don't think it's a terrible movie, but I think it could have been done in 2. And my favorite character, they really butcher, like from the Hobbit story. I think he was really cool. He's like a werebear, and like he like takes care of. He's pretty much a druid that just transforms into a bear because for the heck of it, and he like has his whole meadow, and everyone's like, hey, don't go in there, like don't mess with his ponies, don't mess with his bees, like if you aren't an orc or a goblin and you just leave him alone and respectful, he's like, whatever, dude. But if you ain't, then it's like, well, now we got some talking to do. I wish I could. Sorry, I'm also looking at the Robert Patterson thing, and I'm like, I wish I could remember it. But the 4th movie that I keep seeing that they posted, it's like, but maybe it is Dune that they keep posting in there. But I don't know. I just keep seeing people also take the clip and someone get these beggars out of here. And then it's so. But
yeah, I guess comment below if you think it'd be fun to watch this. I guess we could do it like we did our directors last year, where each month we alternate like different actors and watch their quote unquote most popular, higher rated, or whatever we feel like watching.
I like that one because I feel like with Robert Pattinson, like, not that I would be against watching Twilight because I never watched it, and I think it's not like
we've grown out of it a bit.
Yeah, and it's like it's still neat to see where they came from, but he also, I think his first movie was Harry Potter.
Yeah, we don't need to watch that.
He, as an actor, he has 46 acting roles.
Lots of options.
What? He's only a couple of years older than me. So, but anyway, but yeah, we have a couple ideas. It's getting close to that time where we're just like, okay, what are we doing for
What's next
year?
Yeah, usually when we get past the halfway mark for a season, we're kind of like, well, we're in a rhythm now. How do we change it up? And we tried to change it up this time by giving ourselves rules. But speaking of rules, I guess I should jump into one of mine before we totally lose the plot of everything. If you didn't catch it from the title, this week's prompt from the wheel was movies that happen the same season as when the option is picked. So when
that's the full title, I'm probably just going to name it Summer Movies.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot less to type out.
And I realized there's a typo in my prompt, and I was like, that's not a sentence. But, yeah, so this is coming out, like, basically right at the end of summer. We're watching this in summer, and it was my prompt, so I have to talk about the last meal I ate. Tonight for dinner, I cooked up some corn because I live in a state that has delicious summer produce, so I cooked up some corn. And
who would ever live there?
And my boyfriend a couple weeks ago had made barbecue butter, which is like a compound butter, but we cook up like red onions and different spices to make them aromatic, and then we combine it all in butter and we leave it in the fridge. So you have the really sweet corn with the really like smoky like barbecue butter. And then I made in a little pan the cookbook. The cookbook is by someone that I used to see on TikTok a lot. Justine, I think is their first name. They have like a very soft voice. They do a lot of
Justine.
Like they do a lot of like, I know one of the viral things they did is like they made their own wedding cakes, and they made like 3 different wedding cakes and things like that. But I wish I could remember the name of the cookbook.
I'm going to just type in TikTok Justine Cook Lady.
I think their last name starts with a D. I got it from the library, and I took a bunch of pictures, and I just have it saved in the folder. Justine Cooks is the name of the cookbook.
Well, there's a Justine's Kitchen and a Justine Snacks. And there's Justine Dorian.
I think that's the one.
Cookbook. Justine Cooks.
Yeah, that's the book. In here, they have a recipe called whitefish pepperonata, and it's basically you cook down thinly sliced red onion and bell peppers until they get super soft, and then you add things like capers, red wine vinegar, and some fresh herbs, and then you put white fish on top, and you close the lid, and you let the fish steam cook in all of that on your stovetop. And then I had it over rice.
Well, now I'm hungry. From listening to that and also just scrolling through her website, I'm going to leave.
But there's not a lot from that cookbook that I personally think is my taste. But I did really like that because I was looking for more seafood options, and I believe in their cookbook they don't say that they're pescatarian, but they don't tend to eat meats. So a lot of the recipes in that book are either fish as a protein or like beans or vegetable forward. So there's some things in there that I found helpful. But in any case, what's my next rule? I have to pick the die because I
have to
won.
pick the die.
Let me look
Yes.
at what we've used recently. I guess I will go for the... We just did a D20. Let's do a D10.
Okay.
Half of that. And for anybody curious why we're rolling dice, we are big role-playing nerds, and excuses to roll our fancy sets of dice are always fun. Like, woo, dice.
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 Dice. Where's my dice tray? Oh, it's right next to me.
And the lowest number gets to go first in our order of talking about things. As far as our format goes, if you're newer here, we don't give spoilers about the movies unless we happen to watch the same movie. And that's happened, like 2 or 3 times so far.
Watching the same movie?
Oh, one of them was we watched each other's last watched movie.
Yes.
So, yeah. So those moments will go into spoiler town. Otherwise, we kind of talk like general stuff, either our opinions of the movie or the general themes and things that we think are worth noting. But we won't spoil anything. Dpayne and I have already talked a little bit before recording. We did not watch the same movie this time based on context clues. But we do have a couple other rules to throw at you. Of course, they're always in the description. But what did you roll?
I think we watched 4 movies. Like, I think...
That overlapped?
Yeah. This is the one thing I do like about this, is having all the notes written down of what we watched. So it was...
I know D&D.
D&D. And then...
Ghost Ship.
There was another one. Well, last week's of The Audition.
Ghost
Ship.
And then we did the Hell or High Water, and then
yeah, we swapped them. I thought there was another movie. Maybe it's only 3. It's kind of hard to read my own handwriting. Shit. Blah blah blah. Bing bam boom. Yeah. So, I think that's what it was. We have watched each other's. I know you watched some of the movies that I have watched.
Yes.
Like later. But anyway, I rolled a 70.
On a D10?
Well, there's 10s. I rolled a 7. I don't know what. Oh, I guess the D10 was right next to it.
I rolled a 1.
Well,
so remember that time I put in all the math so one person wasn't first all the time? Alas, we are here. We've removed all those rules.
Yeah, because we're like, they never came up, and now they do.
Now you get to talk about the last book you read. Oh, today is the 12th. I rolled a 1.
Oh, yeah, we have one of those rules. What was it?
You get to go first this time. The last roll.
Okay. Oh, yes. Matches the digit. Well, but I guess I still lost the roll, so... Unless you want to talk about your own book.
No, this is roll higher, so you get to talk about book.
Okay.
I haven't finished my last... Well, I'm like... The story graph says I'm only 60% through the current book I'm reading for a book club on Friday. But it's a nonfiction, so they didn't... Whoever put in the page count didn't account for the fact that, like, this much of it is notes for citations and... So I'm like, oh my god, I'm not going to finish it in time. I'm like, wait, I have, like, an essay and a closing remark. I have time.
I am going to say that I am feeling the full brunt of the Libby app because I have had, like, looking at it all, I was like, okay, like, the average times I should be able to finish this book, finish this book, finish this book. And now there's a book that I've been waiting for, Calabasas, that is like, it went from 2 weeks to be like, hey, you're going to get it soon. But I've been waiting on this other book to come out, that it was like a real short one. I was like, okay, I can finish this before this comes out. And then there was another book that it's 3 books, and I'm like, I know what's going to happen. They're all going to be like bing, bam, boom. And I'm like, ah.
All available right at the same time.
So, yeah, I just finished last week. I think the second book I read by her, V.E. Schwab's Vicious.
I've heard good things about that
It's
author.
it's good. Yeah, I don't know if it's my full cup of tea, mainly because I'm kind of burnt out on superheroes, but I do think it is a fun. Fun is a wrong choice of words. Um, and also I know a lot of people, including the author, the way they kind of tag this is like, oh man, here's two guys that have superpowers and they're really mad at each other. Maybe they should just kiss. And I'm like, I don't see that at all in this. This is like very clearly two people that are dumb. Like they're very intelligent, but like they're emotionally stupid. And traumatized by different things by their own doing. But it's a short read. It is a story of revenge and people getting confused. But it's like it is a very fast-paced book. I think it is a unique way of how to introduce people with superpowers in a way that it is a wide range. Sorry, I'm also like multitasking to set up the timer. A wide, like you can, it is a, there's a lot of creative ways you can create more superpowers. But at the same time, there's like limitations and all that stuff. So, I know it's a start of a trilogy. Personally, I don't know if I'm gonna. I think I heard that the second book, it's different but also good. So, but I'm like, it was a good read. Kept me entertained. I liked the way they did the storytelling, but I can also understand why a lot of people like it. So, that's all I got on it. So yeah. Any other rules?
Let's see. Rolled higher. None of our movies were shorter than 90 minutes. We've determined we're not wearing the same color. People watching in video, you can tell us if we're wrong or not, but we've deemed that Dpayne is in purple and I'm in gray. We just need to check if we're the same letter. But we'll find that out.
We'll find that out shortly. I didn't edit the last week's episode, so I don't think we went over. I think we were very.
I mean, us being combined worked out. I can check my personal.
It says it's a 115, but didn't we just bump it up to 120? Because we had to modify the rule. So, and I think once I edit everything, cut everything out, we should be fine. So, anyway, all right. Well, my timer is set. Bring the notes here. My phone needs to stay on. Okay. So, when I was looking up the different prompts and stuff for this movie, for a summer movie, everything I saw I was not interested in. I was like, I don't like this. I was seeing a lot of the same movie. It was like, oh, a camp movie, a movie where this person has summer in their name, and I was like, or something, which that probably is a very obvious one I was talking about, but there was just like nothing was really hitting home, so I'm just like started doing other searches and everything, and then something came to mind where I read It this year, and I was like, you know what? I wanted to watch the new It movies, and the first one should definitely be taking place in summer because the first half of the book and the way that the first part takes place in summer. And I was watching it, and I was like, it's okay. And then I was like, I have literally nothing else to do. I don't stream anymore, so I watched the second one right afterwards, and I'm like, okay. Like, as a complete story, cool. And then my brother told me about another movie that was
You watched how many is that? Almost like 5 hours worth of movie.
yeah, that one alone. The first one is like just shy of 2.5 hours, and the second one is over 3. So yeah, I watched like between 5 to 6 hours of movie.
To be like, that's not the one.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I have an answer if this next one that I'm watching, because it could go on back and forth. And my brother mentioned this movie, and he's like, hey, it's on Peacock, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I have Peacock with through Comcast, so let me give it a watch. And as I was telling Hop, this movie has a very clear date in it, because there's parts in here where it's not very clear if it takes place in summer, but there is a very clear moment where they show the date of it being in July. And I was like, I'm going to talk about this movie. And I watched the movie Obsession.
Don't spoil it. I want to watch it.
I won't. I figured you would. But yes, as my timer starts, in short, I'm trying to see because I know this is a very recent movie, which is why I was surprised it was on Peacock. But the premise of it is there is this device in this universe that you can make one wish and it will come true. And so the person we follow, this person named Bear, who has interest in this his friend Nikki, who he talks about like, oh man, when time was low and all this stuff, like she was there, she talked to me and all that stuff, and it's like I think I like her, but he's too much of a weenie to be like, hey, I think I have feelings for you and all that stuff, and people are like, some people are saying, hey, like he has, no, I shouldn't say some people. There's another friend that he's like, you should just ask her, but at the same time, it's like, don't ruin trivia night because this is literally the only thing I have. Like this is all within like the first like 5 minutes of the movie. And so, yeah, he's like, I should ask her. And he's like, no, don't do this. Because I don't want you ruining trivia night. My life sucks enough as it is. Just let me have this one thing. And so there's a little bit of humor going back and forth. And so, that all happens and pretty much like they have this conversation. He's like, I don't want to go out, like, because he gets home. I will tell you, his cat dies, because his grandmother, I think it was his grandmother, like he inherited her house, and he really hasn't. It doesn't say how recent it has been, but there's still a lot of like signs of like he's moved in, but there's still signs of like this was grandma's house, and like one of the things is like she had like it's a oxycodone. I don't know how to pronounce it.
The pain medicine.
Yeah. Is that
Oxycodone?
Yeah, that one. I was like, I'm reading it and I'm like, I don't think I'm saying this right. But the cat somehow gets into it and dies from having it. And they don't show you the cat dying. It just shows the dead cat. Like very early on, it's not, to my memory, it's not like gory or anything. It's just like, is that really what I'm seeing? And then like it lingers on the screen a little bit, but the cat is like, he's like it shows him like cleaning up and everything, and he's like, I don't want to go out to trivia night, and he's like all depressed and bawling, and then Nikki calls. He's like, oh, hey, what's up? And he's like, oh, I don't think I want to go out. And she's like, no, you gotta come out, Bear, you gotta come out, blah blah blah. And it's just like, he goes out, and he's still like, oh no, I don't want to do this. Like my cat just died, like unexpectedly, and all this thing. And then he's just like, well, maybe this is my chance. Like, she said she wanted to see me and tell me certain things. And without going fully into details, because this is all, I think, like, now we're like not even past the 20-minute mark of the movie. He's all worked up. He went to like a store because while he was talking to Nikki, like, her crystal necklace like fell down the drain, so he went there to go get her a new crystal necklace, because be like, oh, maybe she like it. And there he sees I think it's the One Wish Willow. Yeah, that's what it is. And he's just like, okay. And here's the value. He's like, yeah, I'm just buying this. Things don't go the way he's hoping. I won't go too deep into there, to where he kind of says his wish that pretty much that Nikki would love him. I forget, because at this point the subtitles for some reason cut out, and I'm like, what the heck? And sometimes a little bit difficult to hear. Where, oh, okay, thankfully Wikipedia somebody's like that Nikki loves him more than anyone in the world, and like he just says it just like, yeah, whatever, this thing, and then the wish comes true, and let's just say that things don't go the way he's going. Yes. I will say the cat comes up more than once. I will say this. We don't see it. But there is a moment, I'll tell you this, because like we don't see this whole scene. We see the end thing where he's eating lunch, and Nikki, and whatever state she's in, like, is this, like, her mind is kind of like warping as like the magics and the stress and all this stuff goes out. For some reason, she goes and finds the cat and cooks the cat for him without telling him. Okay. So that is in there. We do not see her cooking the cat, but it is
explained.
It is explained. It's implied. We see the lunch, but it's like, if you didn't know what it was, it's just like, okay, that just looks like meat, until like that's brought up. And there's like one other scene like that that's very early on, like, and with the cat as well, where she makes like a shrine to it, but it's like in this weird like kind of montage thing as they're trying to figure out what the heck is going on, like, what are we, because he's like still confused about what he did as well. Those are the only things with the cat that come up. The shrine thing, it's like more like, what the heck, like, it's not gory or anything, and
it's just unsettling.
Yeah, it's just like, why were you doing this? So for anyone's wondering, why do you keep bringing that up, it's like, well, you obviously don't know things. Different people don't like different things in movies. So when you have friends, you let them know. Hey, so
just a heads up.
Yeah, just a heads up. So, but overall, to keep it super vague, this movie, it is considered a supernatural horror film. I didn't realize it came out last year, because I feel like I only heard about this movie like 2 months ago, which it looks like, oh, well, it's close to it. It was theatrically released in the U.S. in May, but it went throughout the film festivals in 2025.
And that's when it started getting, okay.
Yeah.
When it finally made it into theaters. Mm-hmm.
So, which is like probably right around that time. I think maybe when I came back from China, that's when I just kept hearing that no. I think this movie does a really good job at setting up unsettling. It invokes the emotional like reaction to be like, I'm uncomfy, and it's like these people. There's like, I'm uncomfy, and also this is like, I don't think cringe is the right thing, but like when you're just sitting there and you're like, I'm feeling uncomfy from watching this person interact, like the way he or she is doing things, and it's like where people are like, oh man, I feel gross watching cringe videos or something like that.
That physical reaction.
Yeah, and there's like a couple scenes in there where I'm just like, oh my goodness, like what the heck. And so, and then I know there's I don't know if you've seen the videos, but there's I don't know if debate's probably too strong of a word, but there's been discourse of the way men have been watching this movie and the way women have been watching this movie.
Oh, yeah. I've heard people say that this is like their litmus test to say like, oh, you like the movie Scott Pilgrim, who's your favorite character? And if they say Scott Pilgrim, then that's your little red flag.
Yeah, I haven't watched Scott Pilgrim. Like, all I know is that he jumps out of a window. So that's all I know about that whole thing. And it's like, that's the only scene about it, and I'm just like, oh, I feel really bad for the one girl that just wants to say, like, talk to him, and it's very obvious you can see him jumping out the window. Anyway, with no context what's going on. But for anyone that's wondering, Bear is completely in the wrong. That's all I'm gonna say. That's I'm not even gonna be like, well, there's this, like, the wish. I will, like, once again, because I know Hop wants to watch it, I'm not gonna go into and this like came out months ago. Mm-hmm. I will give him the benefit of doubt for the first little chunk of time, because it comes off
as an innocent crush, right? In the
yes,
beginning. Yeah.
Well, sort of, but it's very confusing, like the whole thing, because he doesn't believe in the One Wish Willow. He bought it as like a whole thing,
as a gag,
as a gag, all this stuff, and he didn't make his wish. I believe he didn't make his wish out of cruel intent, but more frustration at the way he has been so passive and not doing stuff. So, at least the way I saw it. But the way it progresses, and to the point where he's like, gets to the point where he's like, oh man, I think I got to do something. It's because of how he's feeling and how he's being observed, and like there's just other things where he's taking, like, once he realizes what is going on, he's taking advantage of it until like it's a horror movie, until things go too far,
until it doesn't suit him anymore.
Yeah, and it's like he can't control it. But I don't, like, that's what I say, like, that's the only little asterisks I'll give him, like, but
you would like to believe that he didn't expect to. I truly believe, like, the way it's presented and the way he interacted, and it was like, I only watched the movie once. Like, if I watch it again, I might have a different opinion, but in my initial watch, I think his wish, from what I saw, was more made out of frustration and just like, yeah, whatever, and all this stuff. It wasn't like in hopes of,
it's, and then, because like even the way he's reacting, it's like he doesn't, like, even though he's not connecting the dots until later.
Okay.
And that's kind of all I want to go into it, because it's like I know that's the big debate back and forth. But yes, I do. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff, especially once you get into the meat of the movie. Like, I think Bear gets everything that's coming to him.
I did see a TikTok where this kind of those like, I don't know how real it is because sometimes people have gotten better at like faking texts and everything, but the prompt or the setup was essentially like, hey girl, my guy just watched Obsession and he won't stop talking about it. Can you figure out like what the hell's going on? And then the girl poses, like, makes a new account with a very pretty picture and goes, oh my god, I'm doing, like, a dissertation on Obsession. Do you want to talk about it? And the guy goes, oh my god, I feel so bad for Bear. And then the editor goes, red flag, alarm, alarm.
Yeah, it's because my first interaction to it was, like, not knowing anything about I pretty much went into this movie blind, like I always do. But like I knew of the back and forth, so I'm just like, all right, well, let's see what's going on. But it's like my first interaction was it because like a lot of men were looking at how Nikki was the way she was acting after under the influence of the wish, and there was been a couple of people was like, oh, you do that, like to their partner in the thing, and I'm just like.
Do you like your partner? Like that kind of moment? You're like, do you?
And so, and it's like, I don't know. It's one of the things where it's like, okay, like, because like under the influence, I will say, Nikki does some things that are very, very, very questionable, but she is also
not in her right mind.
Full, and there's very clear evidence of that. So it's but anyway, that's where this all comes down to it. It's like but I will say, like, in the time that I have remaining, I think they do a really good job with lighting in this movie. It's a little bit of a slow burn. Not like Hereditary, where you're just like, oh my goodness, it feels like nothing's happening. Oh my gosh, everything is happening. Because there is events that are happening in here that are being like, hey, pay attention to this. Like, here's stuff. And they do a really good job with lighting. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Indy Navarrete, the girl who plays Nikki. She does she is very good in this role, which I think this is like one of her like.
I do believe it's an earlier role.
Yeah, it's. I think if it's not her first, it's like her first big one. And so she she carries the movie pretty much, like of invoking all the things. Like she's able to like. I'm interested to see like. Her depth, because it's like she almost plays like 3 different characters in one, and it's like that's all I'm gonna say because of like what's going on. But it's just like without having somebody like that in the role of Nikki, it wouldn't have carried as well.
Okay. I looked at her roles. It looks like a lot of shorts, and then she had a long-running character on whatever Superman show was in 2021 that I was not aware was a thing.
The CW.
Yeah.
As I think they called it the Leatherverse because everyone wore leather.
But yeah, this appears to be her. That looks like her long-running role. Because before that, it was like shorts, 9. Oh, I guess there's another show where she was on for like 10 episodes, another one for 9. But the Superman and Lois one, 47 episodes, and then 2025 Obsession.
But yeah, I expect to see more of her in the future. Like she is definitely on the map with this movie.
Yeah.
So, but not just her. Like, let me scroll down to the characters here. Michael Johnston, who plays Bear, he, like, I find Bear very annoying, which I think is the point. But he does a very like he's a very, like, his role also feels very convincing. Like, the main characters of this movie, so there's Ian and Sarah. Ian is Cooper Tomlinson. I don't know if he's played any other thing. And Sarah's Megan Lawless, which I don't know if she's done other stuff as well. I don't know.
I mean,
if it's not Robert Patterson, how the heck am I gonna know who these people are?
Sorry, that last name makes me think of is it Lucy Lawless? That's a famous name, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness, this Megan Lawless. I just clicked on her Wikipedia and she's
Lucy Lawless is Xena, warrior princess.
Okay.
I don't know if Megan Lawless has any relation. It doesn't seem like it.
No, not that I can see. But no, it looks like she's been in some roles. But anyway, like, the Ian, who is played by Cooper my time's up messed up, so I'm just gonna, so I don't have the thing going off. I'll finish everything up in a second. The Ian is just like, I don't know, it's like he's there and you're like, oh my goodness, this is a frat boy that never kind of grew out of college, like, and you're just like, oh my goodness, I don't like this guy. But at the same time, there's parts where you're just like, funny, I think, is too far of a stretch, but it's just like, it's, I think he's supposed to come off comical, which compared to everyone else, it does a little bit, but overall you're just like, okay, frat boy. Just like, and then Sarah, who's Megan Lawless's character, like they all do a very good job where they feel like believable friends, and they are all concerned about the situation in different ways. But yeah, overall, I do think it's an interesting movie. I will say definitely does the dog dance or whatever.
I like how that's how you've committed it to memory. Does the dog die?
Yeah, I was like, is it die? I can't remember. I got most of it until after the Dean dance. But because there's definitely subject matter in here that could be triggering, or at least be uncomfortable. Like, and I know not everyone is interested in being uncomfortable, so and I feel like that's, unless you're an idiot like me, it's always good to look at horror movies in, like, just do a little bit of research to be like, hey, is everything okay? Because depending on who makes it, it's just like, oh, well, this is going to sit with me for life. And not in a good way.
I was curious because I know that this was an indie film, so I double checked. And the thing that I always think is interesting, so it says that the director is well known for having sketch comedy on YouTube. And I've heard a lot of people say that comedy and horror tend to be very, like, they're very parallel in terms of, like, how you write, like, suspense and everything. So kind of like, Jordan Peele and everything like that. So it's cool to see. I think it also says that as of right now, this is the highest grossing independent film of all time, because I think on one website, again, quick Wikipedia, it was maybe a $750,000 budget for the movie, and it's so far grossed $475 million worldwide. So, like, hell yeah, indie.
Yeah, it's
and he's 26.
Yeah, it's I know, like, this is going off the conversation we were talking about a little bit earlier, where people were like, one, like, a little bit AI, but also two, like, oh man, all these people were there. It's a clip of a different show. I don't know what it was, but it's like they were complaining a little bit. This one person was like, all these big blockbuster things are coming out, and, like, we're not getting these, like, art movies, things that are, like, just not money grabs. And the co-host in there, and it's like, I'm noticing it as well, where it's like, yeah, there's these cash grabs and all that stuff, which it's like they're coming out. But if we look at the movies that people are talking about, a lot of them are these art indie movies, like Obsession, and I'm forgetting all the other ones at the moment because I
know, was it Backrooms also came out close to Obsession?
Backrooms, yeah.
But A24 is like, people say it's indie, but A24, I think, for, there's a whole.
A24 is indie with a very big budget.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like there's I'm pretty sure I could look it up, but it's like there's more of these like kind of art style movies that, like, in our own conversations that like we talked about, especially like going through all the directors and some of the older movies that we have watched and talked about, that we're starting to see, hey, it's more than just explosions and pushing things out as fast as possible. Like there's these movies that are sticking around, people are talking about, are having more thought and more story focused on it. But that is the end of my time. And seeing how you didn't say we had the same letter, I think you had a different letter.
Yes. So yours started with an O,
yep.
And my movie started with a T. Thelma and Louise.
Oh, right. I heard of this. Oh, wait. I saw this on the list. Didn't watch it.
This is one of those movies that I decided to watch because I know a lot of references and I know how it ends because it's been referenced so much in like popular media that I was like, maybe I should actually watch it. Mm-hmm. And I told Strider, I was like, I'm going to watch this movie. He's like, oh, I think you'll like it. And I was like, why is it? Because it's women who do crime. It's like, and he was like, and women who hate men. I was like, yay, my kind of movie. But yeah, let me know when you're all set up.
I'm good. I have everything.
Okay.
You can go off.
So my movie is much older. I still won't spoil it because I somehow didn't have it fully spoiled. Like, even though I knew the end, I didn't really know the story and how it gets there. What I will say is the most surprising fact is I watched a Ridley Scott film of my own choice. I didn't realize it because after
was
watching.
David there?
No, he was a little young for this, I think. I don't know when Michael Fassbender was born, now that I mentioned that. But this released in 1991, I believe, or 1992. But yeah, so the main leads are Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis, and then there's a lot of like other characters. Like there's a very young Brad Pitt in it, and I was like, oh right, he can act because this is before he got typecast as like, I don't know how to say it other than as Brad Pitt. And this one, he has like an accent, and it feels like he's acting, and I was like, whoa. Is this what it's like when they first get on the big screen and they don't get like, funneled away as just the next Hollywood star? But yeah, so I really enjoyed, I guess, I kind of like said to Dpayne, there's no specific thing about it that says it's summer, but I did see a thing that said like they filmed it between like June and August, so I'll take it. And it's in like Arkansas, so with the weather there, it could be anything. It could be, you could be in the kind of outfits they're in for most of the year, I'm pretty sure, as long as it's not nighttime. But the premise is generally, you open up with Susan Sarandon's character, Louise, working at a diner. She's like, come on, Thelma, let's go out for the weekend. And that's played by Gina Davis. And Thelma's like, well, my husband says I shouldn't leave the house, and blah, blah, blah. But there's clear signs that her husband, like, it's heavily implied without being said that he is maybe not the most faithful, because she's like trying to ask him to go out for the weekend, and he keeps doing the stop talking so much, stop yelling at me, I just want my breakfast, I'm trying to go to work, don't you know I'm the regional manager for this rug place? And she's like, well, it is a little weird that you work late on Fridays. And he goes, well, it's a good thing you're not the regional manager then, huh? And she's like, okay. And then she just calls up Louise and goes, I'm going on the vacation. And Louise is like, so how'd you convince him to let you go? She's like, I didn't ask him. So it starts out as that very like wholesome movie where I think the setup is Louise said that they're going to go out to a cabin for a weekend. Louise is also dating a guy who's a little messy. So they're both like trying to be away for their men for a little bit. And these two are clearly best friends. And Louise is like, there's a guy with a cabin, he's going to be gone he lost it in the divorce, so he's letting everyone borrow it before he has to give up the keys and sell it because of the divorce. And they're like, okay, that sounds fun. But Thelma clearly has been in this marriage for a long time and is like, now that I'm out of the house, can we like be wild about it? And Louise is like, well, we have places to be. They end up at, and this sounds like I'm going to say a spoiler, but this is, again, within the first half hour of the movie. It's like the premise to set it all up. But they end up going out to a bar, and Thelma clearly, like, it's played by Gina Davis. And I joked with Strider, I was like, there's a man yelling at Gina Davis. Does he not know she's gorgeous? And then Strider's like, well, don't forget, Beyonce and Shakira both got cheated on. I was like, ah. But anyway, so Thelma is out at this bar, and she's starting to get attention from men. And Louise is like, can't you tell you're getting hit on? And you can tell she kind of has a read on this guy. And even the waitress is like, hey, Harlan, let's not hit on every girl in the bar. But Thelma is kind of like enjoying the attention, and she's like, I'm finally out. Don't hinder me. Don't you want to see me have fun for once? And Louise is like, well, within reason. You know, like, we still have to be smart about it. We're still two women alone in a bar, and there's a man who's really into you. We got to, like, be careful here. So it gets to a point where Louise is like, come on, we have to leave. But Thelma starts to get sick because she's had a lot to drink, and the guy is just standing there, and he's like spinning her, like they were dancing, and he's like, come on, keep spinning, and she's like, I think I'm gonna be sick. End up in the parking lot, and I remind you, this is the setup for the movie. They end up in the parking lot, and immediately Harlan becomes aggressive. The weirdest thing is, at this point in the movie, I realized the YouTube Free with Ads version had that classic censorship for TV where it's they have someone say something afterwards. So I was like, is the audio synced wrong? And I was like, oh no, instead of saying like the actual word, they're saying like gosh dang, you know. But anyway, so Harlan starts to become very handsy, and it quickly starts to escalate as Thelma is like, no, I don't want this. I'm actually married. And then Harlan's like, yeah, me too. So what? And it's very heavily implied something bad's about to happen. And then Louise comes out with a gun and is like, you get off of her. And he's like acting like the big man. And then Louise pulls the trigger. And then her and Thelma are like, we gotta figure this out. We're gonna just leave now. And the whole movie ensues into... And then we've watched, like, it doesn't quite feel the same way as, say, Hell or High Water or things like that. But it does have that similar kind of setup where it's cops are doing their best to trace things down, to understand this murder, and then to try and track them down as they're trying to do things to stay, like, a couple steps ahead. Basically Louise's plan is to go to Mexico. So she sets up this whole like elaborate plan. She comes off as that friend who is like, I've dealt with a lot of shitty stuff, and I'm going to keep dealing with the shitty stuff. And she wants to protect Thelma throughout it. But Thelma, I think, as you watch her, you can tell she starts to feel kind of like talked down to. But there are some moments in the movie that I had to pause and go, man, if I had a friend like Thelma, I would 100% be Louise. Because there's just a lot of really tiny mistakes she keeps doing. And there's one that I was like, I paused the movie and went, she's so naive. But I was like, I can't explain it without like spoiling. But yeah, there's just different scenes where there's even moments where characters will come up to her and be like, this is the type of person I am. And she goes, oh, what an honest guy. And it's like, no, he kind of said what he does. And you still went. Like, there's a guy that she's clearly attracted to. And he's like, oh, I'm on parole. And, like, she's like, well, thanks for being honest with me. And it's like, girl.
Take a step back.
Yeah, I know you're getting the attention and everything that you didn't get in your marriage. But, like, you know. But I think that this movie is, I don't know, I thought it was really fun. I thought it was paced better than I anticipated because it has a very, it's pretty, I guess you would say kind of faster paced because every time that they seem to settle on their next plan, something else comes up, of course, and then gets in the way. And there's even some interesting like character growth throughout the movie where you see that the Thelma and Louise have to kind of interchange what kind of roles they have in their relationship based on all of the shenanigans, I guess is how I'll put it, they end up finding themselves in. Because it's essentially a movie of imperfect people trying their best with what they have. So, like, Hell or High Water, it's all really calculated and planned. In Thelma and Louise, it's a very, well, if I go here, I need this. And if I go here, I need this. And then after that, I have to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. And there's just a lot of that kind of chaoticness to it that I think I really liked, because they're not set up to be, like, master criminals, and it shows through the different things. But there's just different moments where the two of them come together based on their hatred of men and just do things that are, like, I personally think, like, a waste of their time, but really satisfying to see them kind of, like, come into their own. Like, Thelma at one point has a moment where she's like, I'm finally having fun. She's basically like, even if you confess to everything, I cannot go back to the life I've had. Like, I think this is who I prefer to be now. And that kind of discussion around, she could be that housewife that isn't allowed to leave the house all day while her husband clearly cheats on her and doesn't actually love her. Like, there's one scene where the cops are like, well, we know your wife is on the run. Let's bug your phone and keep her on the line. And the cops even go, do you like your wife? And he's like, yes. And they're like, can you act nice to her to keep her on the line so we can figure out her location? And he's like, yeah. And the one cop's like, yeah, say like you miss her, because women like that. And the guy goes, yeah, okay. Sure, women like that. I have a wife, and I know she doesn't like that. And I'm like, ugh, terrible, man. So there's a point where they finally call home, and she calls and she goes, hello? And he goes, hello. And she hangs up and goes, he knows. And then he's like, all I said was hello. And the cops were like, ugh. And they call back, and the other woman is like, hey, hand me over to the cops. He's like, what do you mean the cops? There are no cops here. She's like, I just want to talk to the cops. Let me make a deal with the cops. I know they're at your house. Don't do this. And he's like, I don't know what you mean. And the cops are, just give me the phone. But it's a very, like, it's kind of interesting to see the dynamic of them be, forced to fit into what society tells them to, right? Like, in the beginning, one of them's a diner waitress. The other one is a stay-at-home wife. And then when they're forced, their hands are forced, then they become these, like, more calculated, more brave, more bold women that are stop taking, like, no for an answer. Granted, not every decision they make is very smart, and a lot of decisions they make are very silly, but I think that plays into it very well of, like, they're just girls. They're just girls trying to figure it out. I think the interesting thing, though, like, in the difference between these different kind of heist and cat and mouse chase movies that we've been watching. I recently watched one too, didn't I? I watched the Harrison Ford one that I laughed at the whole time.
Fugitive.
Yeah, The Fugitive. In this one, there are, I don't know if I'd call it full propaganda, but they do try to play up these are pretty women, they deserve a second chance. And I was kind of getting tired of that narrative at a certain point. Because the one guy's like, if you just, like, do a plea deal, you won't get tried in court. Because people would go, oh, she's just a little lady. But thankfully the main characters are like, shut up. Like, whatever.
Later, losers.
But one part made me laugh a lot, where the characters start to get really bold. They get pulled over by a cop, and they're like, oh, we can't, like, give up yet. This is just a lone cop on this, like, random highway. I think we still got a chance. And they do, like, a whole thing. And she basically tells him, get in the trunk of your cop car. And he's like, no, I have a wife and kids. And she's like, okay, you better be nice to your wife, because look how I turned out. My husband was mean to me. Now get in the trunk of that car. As she's pointing a gun at him. I was like, that is hilarious. And then there's a scene later where the cop car is just sitting there, and there's a bicyclist that comes up, and he's, like, smoking. And the cop is like, help, let me out. And there's, like, a tiny, like, bullet hole in the trunk, and the guy's smoking. goes up to the cop car and just blows the smoke in the trunk. I was like, yes. So it was very like there's a lot of like quippy little things in it, but I do think the beginning and the setup of the movie is like a little, I wouldn't say jarring, but it sets the tone. And I would say like if you are sensitive to things like, you know, domestic violence or sexual assault, there's nothing visual, but there's nothing else happening on the camera, and the angles of the camera are set up in such a way that like you don't see it, but your imagination's like, I don't like it. Like the shots where you're like, you see their shoes or you see, you know, things like that, and like you can tell there's a struggle, and they do slap each other. Like the guy like slaps her like across the face. I'm like, huh. Like it went from them being like, haha, we're just girls, to like, and stuff like that. But I do think it sets up a good tone for the movie in terms of it starts off feel good, and then the Ridley Scott of it all, where it's like, okay, we're on the run, we're going, we're not stopping. We're just gonna push forward. But yeah, for it being an older film, like I said, it's from the 90s. There's a lot of like early roles for people, like I said, mainly like Brad Pitt and things like that. I think it's really fun. I think it's really watchable. I think it does well with the 2 hours with it, because I know you and I have had different opinions of movies from different eras where like some modern movies, they drag it out far too long, like we were saying, like Dune and The Hobbit. You're like, okay guys, I get it. You want people to keep coming back to the movies. But then there are different eras of movies where things are like a lot slower, like the Kurosawa, where we're like, that's a nice blade of grass. Kurosawa, I've been looking at it for 5 minutes. I think we get the point. And I think this one has a nice in-between where there is a lot of things happening, but there are also moments like in between that let it kind of like breathe a little bit. So I think this one's paced pretty nicely, in the way that I feel like I keep bringing up Hell or High Water, but I think that's my closest equivalent because, like I said, there's that very much the cops chasing a particular pair of people. So it has that similar kind of like parallel. But that one I felt like could breathe more, because Hell or High Water, you're just like, the shoe's gonna drop and I don't have a break. Please give me a moment. But yeah, I don't know. I think that this was fun. I saw it on a lot of lists for like summer films, and it doesn't explicitly say summer, but it does have that initial feeling of, oh, we're going on a little summer vacay, we're gonna relax. And then as the movie goes on, the two main characters, they're really sweaty, they're covered in lots of dirt, and they change their outfits to be like, we're on the run, we tore the sleeves off these t-shirts, and we don't care how we look anymore. So it gives off, I think, at least summer vibes, if it's not perfectly dated to be in the summer.
All right. I didn't watch it, so I'll agree. And I was looking, this is the first time the person who wrote this, Kaylee Corey, I don't know, I'm probably butchering her name. This is apparently her first, it was her first time writing.
Oh, nice. And it says she got an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay, too.
I also was finding it funny that this is the second movie this year that starred Gina Davis that was watched, which... what
else did we watch?
Oh, I watched In a League of Their Own. She is the...
Oh, the baseball ladies.
Yeah,
yes.
Which is funny because, like, it's like I was hearing the name and it wasn't, like, connecting. And then when I was, like, I looked at the poster, I was like, I recognize that face. Why do I recognize that face? Why is her name purple? Oh, that's why.
Yeah, I still think of Beetlejuice, because she's the mom in Beetlejuice.
Well,
the first with Alec Baldwin, not the rest in peace. I'm forgetting her name.
Batman.
The one that plays like the art dealer wife. She passed away not too long ago.
I've only seen bits and pieces of Beetlejuice, so I can look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now.
Well, while you look that up, Michael Fassbender would have been 14 years old, so he could have been in the movie.
Oh, he could have as one of the side characters.
Yeah, it's
Catherine O'Hara. She's
cute.
in, yeah. Again, one of those, like, I don't know if you recognize her name, but if you saw her
It sounds familiar.
She passed away when she was only 71.
And now my next comment is just gonna be my normal thing. That's just like, oh man, I'm so sorry that this woman died. And it's just like, now I want them to do an edit like how George Lucas did with all the Star Wars movies to make them like up to date, where I just want all Ridley Scott's movies to have David running around in the background, like
Random 3D versions.
yeah, just like, I don't know, he can be chasing Wilson or whatever. It's nice him. I don't even like the character David. I just think it's funny. Like
That he's gonna kiss himself.
yeah, it's like that's the only thing I find funny about it. It's like I don't even like the character, and it's like, hey, he had a mission and he did it. He was also very dumb, but it was like he did his things. Probably caused a genocide, depending on what movie you're watching. But I don't know. It just also makes me laugh just to think that he's just always in any of Ridley Scott's movies. It would be a little bit tough to put him in The Martian.
Oh yeah, Ridley Scott has he has a lot, I think, planned to come out too. If I looked at his IMDb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but anyway, anything else? Your time just ran out.
Expired. But yeah, sorry, I looked up Ridley Scott, his upcoming director movies. There are 9 planned to come out with his name as the director.
I always imagine him being like ancient, which he is 88. Well, oh, okay, this picture's from 2015, which still, that was about 10 years ago.
Yeah, he was born in 37. So yeah, like you said.
He's seen World War II. Well, I think he was in elementary school. But yeah, it's I don't know.
No, he has a huge catalog of movies. Oh, I forgot. I'm also aware of this movie, but I've never watched it. But I forgot he did Gladiator.
Yeah, that's like I know he did the second one, which was kind of
Oh yeah, I did watch his Blade Runner movie. Wow, I've watched a lot of Ridley Scott this year without us having it pre-planned.
I watched The Alien, watched Blade Runner. I didn't watch Legend. What's Legend? Oh, that's like the fantasy movie where oh yeah, Tom Cruise fights Satan.
Oh, okay.
But it's like medieval.
Oh, I've seen this makeup, and I've seen this horse. I've never seen this movie. It must be memed a lot.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy thinking about how he wasn't put on. Was he even on the directors to watch? I feel like he's on there.
I think we didn't do it because we watched all of the Alien movies.
Yeah, we watched all the. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, so we had just watched 6, 7 of his movies. So we were like, that's okay.
Did he do Predator? I don't think he did Predator.
No, but the 3. Oh, I guess technically he only did the first Alien and then the new trilogy. Did he do the third Alien? Second one is James Cameron.
James Cameron. I know Resurrection was Joss Whedon.
Okay, so we watched 4 of his movies because the new trilogy and then
let's see, Alien
the first
3.
one.
David Fincher.
Okay.
Which I know he's also...
He's a sci-fi guy, right?
Yeah. He looks like a nerd. But I know he's a pretty big name. That's like some of these directors that are like in here for so long. I'm like, are you like a gross person? Like that. And no, Alien 3 was his. No, wait, hold on. I should probably. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess Alien 3 was his debut. As a.
Oh yeah, everything else looks like music videos.
Yeah.
Before
Which
that,
makes
at least.
sense, like, of the way that's shot. But it's crazy how he went from Alien 3, which I don't hear a lot of praise for, to 7, where I hear a lot of praise for.
Is that the box?
I think so. Yeah.
What's in the box?
Yeah.
Oh, and Fight Club.
Yes.
That's why I've heard his name before. Okay.
And then here's Case of Benjamin Button.
A very Brad Pitt guy.
Social Network. Is that the...
That's the Facebook. Yeah.
He did Gone Girl? That's a messed up movie.
That's another book.
Yeah, I keep going back and forth because I heard things about the book that they can't put in the movie.
Sorry. I haven't watched Gone Girl, but I can only presume with a thriller like that.
Yeah, it's a movie.
You mean it's wheel time?
Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. It's time to spin the wheel as I write down the time. That's right, everyone. It's time to shine.
I hit spin, and it is landing on...
Something.
Foreign film.
Oh.
It was doing that slow thing where I was like, it could land on another prompt, but it landed on foreign film.
Yeah, I think when we have less... The less and less it gets in there, the longer it takes for it to settle.
Yeah.
Who's this foreign film? You.
Another one for me. I guess you had a lot of back-to-backs, right?
Yeah. But we're like kind of at the halfway point. So. Oh, well, hey, guess what? I already know what I'm watching. I just got to make sure it's not I'm pretty sure it's a foreign film.
All right. And then, do we have any ideas for a new rule?
No.
It is late.
It is late, and we have a lot of rules.
If the movie you watched
has
came out
domestic
within
abuse.
this... if the movie you watched came out within this year.
Wait a second.
I thought of it while you were talking.
You got to do the hokey pokey. Never mind. No, that's dumb. If your movie came out this year, what?
Share something on your wish list.
Any wish list?
Any wish list. So you go, oh, I saw this game on Steam, or oh,
my
You don't have to do it now. This is for...
I was trying to think of a funny answer for wish list, but I can't.
You tried.
I was like, what would be one of those things that would have been like, ooh, wait, why'd you say that? And then I'm like,
you want the wishing
shock.
logo, right?
I don't know, because I think all I would use it to do is get a job. But then I was like...
But the consequences of
yeah.
that wish could be pretty bad.
Yeah. So...
You could end up in a Saw.
In a Saw?
Oh. Well, I was like in the Saw movies. Like, for all you know, you're like... He's sitting there and he's like, Itisdpayne, go set up the trap. And you're like, it's a job, I guess.
It's like those old like cartoons from the Flintstones. It's like, that's a living. No, it's the neat thing, like, because I don't want to go into it too far with Obsession, but the director has said it's like the One Wish Willow is very... The way you word your wish, it's kind of like genies like finding like the, oh, okay, like that kind of thing. So it's like people can get what they were hoping for if they word their wish correctly. But then he also said, he's like, yeah, because people are like, oh, is there like a whole universe, and like, are you gonna do more of this, like, of the same premise? And I was like, I don't know if I would want to watch a whole nother movie on this. But then he did say, he's like, hey, there have been talks and maybe potential work on maybe like of making a TV show of based on the premise. And I was like, that actually sounds a lot more doable, where it's like a wish per episode.
Kind of like what's the Love, Death, and Robots? Oh, you know,
that show, or
yeah, because that's like a bunch of
Yeah.
sci-fi concepts put together.
What's that? Black Mirror.
Yeah,
Never made it past the first episode.
the first episode's a lot.
Yeah, I was like, man, he did what to a pig? Anyway, the poor pig. We will. That is it. And you will find out what foreign films we watched next time. For you, it'll be a week. For us, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, talk to you next time. Peace.